And some of you guys have seen the movie Mississippi Burning, right? That was Philadelphia, Mississippi. So they had the fear of that, the people, the sheriffs that was in charge of Dougherty County, which is Albany, and Leesburg. And you say, where is Leesburg? Have you guys heard of Luke Bryan? That's where he was born. So the thing was, my mother was so scared while she was fighting for her rights. But the one thing, they got together and they got some smarts, they armed themselves. So they had approximately about 50 to 75 men around the church. And then she felt better. So that's the reason why I fight for the Second Amendment. That's one reason. Okay, the next reason comes from the Bible, the oldest book and the best-selling book. I'm gonna hit you with 1 Samuel 13, 16 through 22. This was during the time of Saul the ruler. What was happening was, during that time, the Philistines killed all the sword makers. So that would hamper Israel. And that's the similar bill that we're fighting now. It's HB 72, which goes after the FFLs, the owners of the gun stores. Because you have to have an FFL in order to sell guns and firearms. So the next one is Ezekiel 33, 1 through 6. That's the watchman. I am a watchman in my church, and I am armed, and so are the rest of the watchmen. So we believe, we love the Bible, but we also love our Smith & Wessons. And the second scripture I live by is Proverbs 29:2. It says this: when the righteous strive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. So which is ruling Connecticut, the righteous or the wicked? You decide. And this is another one here. I found this out recently. What Abraham Lincoln said on April 4th, 1865, outside the mansion of Jefferson Davis. He said this to black people. He says, in reference to you colored people, let me say, God has made you free. Although you have been deprived of your God-given rights by your so-called masters, okay, now you are as free as I am. And those who claim to be your superiors and don't know that you are free, take the sword and bayonet and teach them that you are free. That's another reason why I hold on to my Second Amendment rights. And he goes on to reiterate the Social Security that God created all men free and given each the same rights of life and the pursuit of happiness. And this I reference from a book called A Sketch of the 29th Regiment of the Connecticut Colored Troops. Isaiah Hill was the soldier that witnessed Abraham Lincoln's speech. And also the 3 boxes of liberty, which Frederick Douglass iterated. It says a man's right rests in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. We hope we don't get to that one. That's right. And he says, let no man be kept from the ballot box because of his color. That's what my mother was fighting for. Because in those days, they had the poll tax. And the poll tax was crazy prices, or they would have to pass a test that only a sophomore in college could pass. And those days, most black people wasn't educated. So those are the things that hindered black people. So, and I'll move on. Because, sometimes, folks, I get weary